Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. We are a group of friends who record a podcast and we try to fix America because we're forked.
That's right.
One conversation at a time.
One conversation at a time.
One cooked roadkill at a time. That was my dinner last night.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, I am here. My name's Jeff, and I'm joined with Phil, as usual.
What's up? This is Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Hi.
And then we've got two guests here today. We got Nate and Brandon.
Hello.
From the podcast called This Is a Place, which I listen to, by the way.
Thank you. You're one of our
22 listeners.
I think we're at 24 now.
24?
Yeah.
We're going to get up to more than Jake's mom pretty soon. I think Jake's wife might start listening.
Yeah,
so that'll be two.
We've got a listener. We know that.
We know we have one.
I listen.
There we go. We just doubled in popularity.
Well, we are rated the #1 Utah podcast by Brandon's mom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Now, you and Jake aren't brothers, right? Because I'm just making sure you guys don't have the same mom. And she's just listening to a lot of podcasts.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Oh, okay. Just kidding. Not related. All right. Well, we're going to start with some news. We try to start with some micro news from American Fork, and I couldn't quite find anything from American Fork, but I also wanted to start things like super depressing and sad and down the tone and make things somber. So here it goes. 16 dogs found dead and 14 malnourished in a Utah home.
Ooh.
This was across the pond from, not the big pond, the little one in Utah County.
The mid-size.
The 4-foot deep pond called Utah Lake. But it's over in Eagle Mountain is where they found this. Have you guys heard anything about it?
They found 15 dogs dead in a home.
16 dogs dead, 14 malnourished.
So there were like 30 dogs.
Yeah,
in a
32
home.
Roughly. Who's counting?
And the people still live
No,
there,
it's
I
30.
guess.
Oh, well, yeah. So funny you ask because it's a news story. So basically animal control was called to check up on the dogs because this lady went to the hospital.
Yeah.
She was in the hospital and the neighbors were worried like, oh, crap, no one's taking care of these dogs, feeding them. It seems to me like no one was taking care of them when she was there, probably. But this is the really depressing part is they found 15 dogs in a Ziploc-style bags in a freezer.
Oh, my gosh.
This is like borderline serial killer stuff, right?
Wait, so the dogs they found were mostly in a freezer?
15 out of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she's going to eat them.
Oh, my God. Someone that went to the Philippines would say that, though.
Dog can be a good meal.
Did we talk about... Oh, go ahead.
You've had dog before?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
What breed?
Black.
That's my favorite.
It was actually like most dogs, I've said this before, but most dogs in the Philippines are like from Resident Evil, like their skin's falling off and stuff.
Mangy.
But
That's
the
right.
one dog that these people brought this dog out, it's like wagging its tail. I'm like, this is like a real dog. Its fur is all on. It's got a cute face. And the next day we were eating over there and they were like, do you like what you were eating? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, that was that dog that was here yesterday. They're like, don't tell anyone, though, because I guess it's illegal, but...
Even in the Philippines?
It's illegal there, but people do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Cuban cigar type thing.
Oh.
So...
People love it enough that they just do whatever it takes?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's
pretty
cool.
much.
It's sad, actually.
Yeah. So maybe she was going to eat those things.
I don't know. It seems really weird because 15 dogs found in a Ziploc-style bag in the freezer. I mean, that is...
It's a big freezer.
Well, you don't know what kind of dogs they are either.
Yeah, maybe they're like
Don't
those
assume.
little...
They could have been Chicken McNugget-sized dogs.
Yeah, tiny dogs.
Yeah. Phil doesn't like
Beagle's
dogs much.
dogs. Doesn't Beagle have dogs that are like this big?
Yeah.
I'm holding my hand, podcast listeners, in like...
Smaller than a bowling
That's like
ball.
Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Chihuahua style.
Terriers.
Guinea pig, maybe.
So I think this is terrible. There are limits, and I don't know if you guys know your limits on like depending on the city you live in, you can't have a certain amount of animals.
Yeah, my limit's 4 dogs in the freezer.
I don't know if my freezer could fit more than 4. So do you have a deep freeze? What is this?
I got 2 freezers.
Okay. And just, I mean, just to beat this up, is it two per freezer, or 3 in one and 1 in the other, or how do you have?
Yes.
You don't have to answer
One is
that.
dedicated.
One is the food they eat, and the other one is the graveyard.
One's for the dogs, the other for the cats.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly.
Anyways, it's super sad.
So she's
and-
probably like a hoarder, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that?
yeah. If you see pictures from it, it's definitely not a house you want to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah, any listener knows that my favorite thing about podcasts is when they talk about pictures. So here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Here's, I think there might be some poop there.
Oh, that
Ew.
is my nightmare. My
Phil, describe it.
nightmare.
Is that the one that wasn't in the freezer?
Like, imagine fiery hell. Like, for most people, that would be that for me. Like, I would be in torture for eternity.
Well, it looks like a tornado went through it, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't even want to live with one dog.
I know
So
you don't like
to have
dogs.
15 in there pooping all over the carpet. Ugh.
Oh, maybe it was a walk-in freezer.
Oh, maybe.
You think that's a walk-in freezer, or does that look like a bathroom?
Looks like a bathroom.
Looks terrible.
Is that the subfloor, or is it?
It's a subfloor, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I mean, when you get dog pee on there, you got to get it up and get the smell out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're civilized people here. We don't just, have dog pee on the ground.
Yeah.
The
I
dogs
feel
in the freezer wouldn't like that.
I feel so bad for those people because they obviously have like a mental thing going on, right?
Yeah, be honest with me, Phil. Do you feel more bad for the people or the dogs?
The people.
I know. See, I feel more bad for the dogs. I'm like, screw the people.
You love those things.
Yeah. So maybe, just maybe, we can bring the tone up after this now, because that, I don't know, stuff like that makes me sad. But I think that was owned by the Manson family, that house. That's totally made up. All right, on to Utah news. I've got the reason why I chose this story is because it seemed kind of pompous the way that they presented this. But the title is "Two license plate designs come into new license plates come into Utah this year." So the first line says, "If you don't know what Utah's Live On campaign is, then you haven't been paying attention."
I don't know.
When I read that, I don't know. Do you know what the Live On campaign is, Nate? None of us know in here. The reason I thought that me and Phil, because I assumed Phil would not know, because we're not on social media, like, at all. So I thought maybe it was some Utah campaign social media. So I have a feeling this person that wrote this article is just kind of making themselves sound cool. Like, well, of course everyone's heard about this. And 4 out of 4 people in this room have not.
That's marketing. It's like, if you haven't heard about the American Forked podcast, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. If you have not
I see
listened,
that all over social media.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you have not listened to This Is a Place podcast, you are under a rock
Yeah.
without a TV.
Exactly.
Or you don't watch. How do you listen to podcasts? On TV?
On a radio.
That's what I thought. You just tune in, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, the Live On campaign. I mean, it's not a joke of the campaign. The campaign's cool. It's an anti-suicide campaign that Utah's running, and has apparently been successful outside of this room, according to this person that wrote the
So
thing.
other people do know about it.
Yeah, some people aren't dying, and so maybe that's a good campaign.
So
But-
what is it, though? A license plate?
Yeah, there's 2 license plate designs they're going to do that are geared towards this anti-suicide. I don't know. Can you say anti-suicide? Non-supportive unsuicide?
You can say anti-suicide.
You can say anti-suicide. There's not any pro-suicide people that are going to get upset.
Don't think so.
Okay, at least not in this room.
Not here.
But anyways, the thing that really bummed me out about this article too is that they don't have any pictures of like the proposed designs or anything like that. But
Yeah, so I don't know if I just read headlines. I don't read the stories. And I saw that story and I flipped through it really quick. No pictures. And like, moving on.
yeah,
So I didn't know the sayings of the plates. So.
yeah, it's like Dr. Seuss. You just kind of flip through, look at the pictures. There's not any pictures.
Nobody has time to read.
Yeah, he sends me the articles and tells me to read them. So
And then
Yeah,
give me the Cliff Notes.
that's funny.
didn't they also ban vanity plates in Utah?
Oh, did they?
I think so.
Isn't vanity one of the 10 deadly sins of hell? Or is that, what are they? I don't know.
I don't think
7
it's
deadly
vanity.
sins?
7. There's
deadly
7.
sins.
See, maybe I added 3 and one of them was vanity.
Maybe one is vanity.
It has to do with, I don't know. Call in now. Lines are open.
Ring. Vanity.
I need to watch
That
7.
vanity
again.
plate is like where you say your own thing on it, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Like like we had a friend in high school that named Trevin who had an Audi and put on his license plate Trevin.
What's that, Trevin?
Cool. It's the tackiest thing I could think of. But go ahead.
I was just going to say it's funny because, like, when someone's like, oh, yeah, this guy just sped by. His name is Trevin.
I want to get one that says Derek. And just be like, totally throw everyone off.
Yeah, there you go.
So they're not allowing you. What you heard was they're not allowing any more vanity plates to be printed.
I think so. Maybe it's so they can push this
Yeah,
instead.
interesting.
So it's a license plate that says "Don't do suicide" or something, or it's the
Don't do suicide.
It's
yeah,
the color of their campaign.
I don't know. That's the thing. A lot of times
you don't know anything about this story.
No, I mean I kind of skimmed through it. Didn't have
Okay.
any pictures, so I didn't read it.
I get it.
But basically, a lot of the you pay extra money for a license plate that supports certain causes, and they take that money and give it to them.
Yeah.
Like there's a puzzle piece one that supports autism. There's I don't know, what are some of the other ones? There's like a police department one,
There's probably a cancer one that with a pink ribbon or something.
right? What other ones are there? Do you know?
I just know the designs. There's like the arches, the slopes. But that's probably different.
Isn't it just a plain white one?
There's like the In God We Trust one. I think that's what you're talking about.
I think there's three main ones because I got a car a year or two ago and got plates on it. But there's three that they let you choose from that was like no extra charge. It was the arches, the white one with the skier, and then In God We Trust with the American flag on it. Then from there they had a whole
Add-ons.
bunch of other ones, veterans and the autism. This Live On one now that you pay $20-$30 extra. Anyway,
Well, there you go. Utah's got some diverse license platery.
I just want one with the handicap guy on there so I can park in awesome spots.
Okay.
Is that how it works? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything other? You have a news story from Utah.
I do. So this one, I think, was down by me in Spanish Fork. No, it was in Provo.
You just released another clue as to where you live.
Exactly.
It's not okay.
A complaint filed against a Provo doctor alleges that while he worked as an OBGYN, he sexually assaulted many of his patients over the course of 30 years. So I guess there are 4 women that have come forward and said, this guy did this, and I think he's getting charged and sued. So it's a big mess. Dr. David H. Broadbent. That's kind of frightening, right?
I'm not scared.
Unless it's a lie and they just didn't know what was happening.
30.
But he admitted to it, right? He said.
Oh,
over
he
30
did?
years.
He said he's...
Is that what you? I thought that's what he said. Over 30 years, he.
I don't think he said he didn't do anything wrong from what I saw on the news a few weeks ago. or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
I think he's saying, no, I'm just a doctor doing my doctorly duty, and these women didn't understand or something like that.
So what we've done is put together the best of all opinion. Like 4 men in a room talking about OBGYNs is probably the most professional like opinion that we can get.
Since we're the most experienced
yeah.
in going to doctors like that.
Because I think all of our stories will start with, I heard.
My wife tells me.
I thought.
Are you guys both married?
Yes.
Yeah. So when your wife goes to those things, do you go with her?
Negative.
No.
Unless it had something to do with having a baby. But
Yeah, that's all mine have been for is
Right.
for a baby. So I've been there, but
Yeah, I guess I haven't gone, but I think my wife's mom goes with her usually.
Really?
Yeah.
I usually
Not a bad
plan my...
idea.
what was that?
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I usually plan my trips out of town around those appointments. So I'm as far away as I can.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, I don't want to be accessories to anything.
Oh.
But genuinely, that's a joke, obviously. But the reality of it is, from what I've heard, I'm kind of like, what part of it is not violating? Like, it is not a fun process for the patient going in, and it doesn't seem fun to me if I was in their shoes. And I'm not taking the side of the doctor because obviously there's a line somewhere. But to me, I hear what needs to happen at an OBGYN appointment, and it's like pretty much all intrusive and violating,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, so as a man, though, you go in and get your, what do they call that? Turn and cough physical thing.
Yeah.
Hernia?
That's where they're testing for hernia, right?
Right.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that most men would immediately recognize something sexual versus something not, even if it never happened before. Maybe, I don't know.
Have you guys seen that Friends episode where
Taylor?
Joey the Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just move it over to the side and you measure the other seam.
Oh,
and you
that's right.
I have
But
not
it's
seen
kind of
that.
like, yeah, that's right. In prison.
Your mechanic does it?
I haven't
Exactly.
seen that, but that sounds that's hilarious. It sounds so familiar.
Wait, you're married and you haven't seen Friends?
Yeah.
Isn't that like...
You watched Friends when you were younger, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it enough to know the characters and stuff,
Oh.
but I don't think I've seen that episode.
I think I saw 2 of the episodes, like, what do you call it, live or whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was with a girl at the time, but I've seen them all now because my wife watches it nonstop.
That's
so,
funny. I think my kids are more likely to watch it. I've got teenagers, so
Yeah, it's kind of
I think if
a
they-
new run of it, right?
I know it's crazy. You see all these kids with Friends T-shirts on, and you're like, you don't even know.
You weren't there when Rachel broke up with Ross.
I
Yeah.
don't know that
Oh,
well.
okay.
Which
I remember
time?
that. Yeah, exactly.
You don't even know how to dance and end a scene in a pond. What is it? It's a fountain in the opening
Oh,
credits.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've never
There you
even
go.
been to Central Perks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
All right. How do
so
we get
this,
off on that?
so this guy,
That's right.
I'm here.
Perfect.
so this guy may have molested dozens or hundreds or thousands of women. I have no idea. They're
So
just saying-
one, I saw the news story and they were interviewing one of the girls, and she made a comment of, well, even though he's going to touch me inappropriately, he still has to ask permission, which I wonder if it's just an older doctor that just went through the routine and he didn't, quote unquote, ask.
Right.
So I'm not, like you said, I'm not saying he did or did not do anything wrong, but
And-
it just seems a little...
Yeah, and that's true.
Interesting.
We should give him the benefit of the doubt. Like it might have been totally whatever.
How
and I'm
dare you?
I'm victim shaming right now.
How dare you? That's just your male privilege.
But maybe I don't know. That's why I'm saying I would think that people would know if it was bad or not. Like when I had my vasectomy, there wasn't a lot of like. They talked to me before about what was going to happen, but it was pretty much just like lay down here, and they just like went to town, and you just are like helpless and
And you guys
hanging
can
on
just
for dear life.
have total silence after this question. Have you guys had vasectomies? Oh, you just
yeah.
had a baby, huh?
Yeah.
Brandon did. But, okay, so Phil and I have both had vasectomies. You know?
Negative,
No,
not yet.
okay. I can see in that scenario a situation where I felt violated. And it's not even a violation. It was like, okay, this is not normal. And it was mostly, I've gone into details on this on a previous episode, but, you know, when a girl comes in and pulls the blanket off and just starts washing your balls and sanitizing, it's like, this is weird. Where's my wife? Hello? Is this okay?
Yeah, we look at like that as like a private area, but for them it's like work.
They don't
You
care.
know, it's like
Right.
That
like,
was the
let's paint the house, let's pull up the floorboards, let's
Right.
get work done. So I don't know, and I'm not trying to again downplay what may or may not have happened. I just
Yes, you are.
yeah, okay, but yeah, I don't know.
But for reals, exactly like you said, the clinicalness of it almost made it worse because I was like, this person doesn't care at all. It isn't like, hey, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna blah blah, like asking permission almost, or saying, is this okay with you, or what I'm making sure. None of that occurred. It was just like, hi, my name's so and so. I'm an intern here. I'm 24 and I'm a woman, and I'm gonna now pull this blanket off your most precious part of your body and start sanitizing. It's like, holy crap.
See, I didn't care that it was a woman because I'm not sexist.
But
Like you are.
but I am.
Yeah.
Okay, we're attacking each other
Okay.
today.
Anyway, so that sucks.
It really does.
It sucks if he did it. It sucks if he didn't. It sucks if it's somewhere in between. I don't know. It's like a big abuse of, a terrible abuse of power, authority, or like
Position of trust.
Position of trust. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So
I will say, though, I mean, I've had similar experiences with other doctors, but not on a sexual end. Like, I went into an old guy. He was like 80 years old. He was a dermatologist, and I had this like skin tag by my eye, and it was just annoying. It was sticking out, and I'm like, get rid of this thing. So I went over to his whatever it's called, clinic. I go in, I sit down, and he literally looks at it, and without even talking to me or anything, he just grabs this instrument, grabs my eye, clips it off, and I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, oh, we got a bleeder. I'm like, bleeding big time. And he just grabs this.
You just cut me, man.
I know. I'm like, what kind of place is this? He grabs another tool, zaps it with electricity to cauterize it and stop it from bleeding. I was done in like 30 seconds of sitting down.
and didn't even ask you. Like,
he didn't ask me.
Do you want to remove that?
I said, hey, I got this that I want removed. He's like, let me look at it. Looks at it for 2 seconds, just goes and grabs the right tools, starts doing it, cuts it off. I didn't sign any paperwork. I was like the only one sitting in the waiting room. Went back, and he just goes, all right, you can pay her up front. I'm like, okay.
I guess we're done here.
Exactly. And I'm like, but to me, it was like, do you really need to go through the rigmarole of like, hello, I see this thing, like almost like a kid's appointment, like, see this tool, this is going to cut your face off. Okay.
I don't know, Jeff. Were you dressed in a way that was inviting someone to pluck your mole off your face?
To slice your face.
Yeah. Because that would make a
Did you have
difference.
an offensive shirt on at the time?
I did. I was wearing a red bandana, and all his clothing was blue. So
there you go.
Maybe that was it. It was a little gang joke for you.
There you go.
All right, let's move on because I'm sick of that.
Okay.
I have something from a different fork, from
Ooh.
Spanish Fork.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Did you see the fire engine that caused a 9-car crash?
Was that
Ooh.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
A fire engine?
So it was going to a car accident, and as it was on the side, it clipped like 9 cars.
Oh, because it was driving on the shoulder to get
Yeah.
to an accident?
Got a video. I mean,
And
videos are great
videos
for a podcast.
Let's
They're
check it
actually
out.
the best. Phil
I
Phil
describe him
describes
so
it, that's
perfectly,
great, yeah.
though. See? All right, here you go. You've got a rear view mirror. Oh, it's already over. Yeah, this guy, it looks like he's got plenty of room there, too,
That's
to
messed
be out of
up.
the way.
It's first day on the job.
Yeah.
But then it shows he gets out. It's
Oh, my
clipped all
goodness.
these cars.
Oh, no.
Dude, don't get out. You're on the freeway.
Glad-
And someone and an emergency vehicle just plowed you. And he's stuck there.
Yeah,
Ouch.
Oh, my
ran into the
gosh.
semi, looks like.
So for the listener, it's like he has a wide shoulder and there's gravel to the side of him as well. And he's barreling down this oh my gosh, and now
like
they're
the
running
shoulder
for him.
there,
They're barreling down the shoulder in a giant vehicle, obviously. The fire trucks are huge. And it's almost like he just bent over to pick up his Fanta or something and kind of gently curved towards the traffic and just rammed into someone. That was a semi that he ran into?
It looks like at the end, like a bunch of cars along the way, and then it ended at the semi.
Wow.
So
That's
was it
interesting.
a new driver or just an old driver who's just fed up with people not moving over? He's like, I'm just going.
Yeah.
I don't care what's
I'm where I'm supposed to be. That would be a Utah driver mentality, right? I'm going the speed limit. I'm not getting out of this lane.
Those people didn't pull over far enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they need to put those the cattle plows like they put on on trains, right? So when cattle are on the tracks, it just kind of
Scoop them
move
out of the
people
way.
over.
Yeah.
They need that. I mean, I saw that on a zombie movie too once, and I think it would be fitting for a
Move
emergency
zombies.
vehicle.
People would
responding to
definitely
crashes.
move out of the way then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or they'd be moved out of the way.
Yeah.
No, one way or another, you're moving.
I just wonder if they had to call another ambulance and fire truck in for those accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they still have to go to the other one.
And they do the
assume.
same thing.
So that was yesterday.
Yeah.
There's another crazy accident up north yesterday. I just heard it on the radio. A car ran into a cement truck that was fully loaded, and the cement truck tipped over and crushed another car. And this was a big mess up in northern Utah.
Yeah.
Ogden, somewhere up there.
Yeah, Weber County yesterday, a piece of debris fell off a car and killed the driver behind him. Went
Oh,
through
wow.
the windshield and killed him.
Yeah, I was heading back from Salt Lake a couple days ago, and there were 3 semis carrying these. They look like maybe like sections of a crane, but they were so they were so wide that the semi was driving in the middle of the lines, and the thing took up 2 entire lanes, like oversized load type things. And they're just kind of like wobbling. And these trucks were all going 80 miles an hour.
Right.
And so I was like, I got to get away from these. So I slowed down, of course, so I would be further away from the trucks. But
why did you look like you had the most sarcastic attitude ever?
I didn't.
Did you
That's
speed
what I
up
did.
and cut in between them?
Nope. I slowed down
Uh-huh.
and safely coasted behind them for
Multiple miles.
as long as I needed to.
I don't believe any.
But yeah, some of those things get crazy because you're like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. They've strapped that on safely. But then all the time, people are like, things are rolling off and crushing people, or trucks are tipping over. And I always love when the big trucks get in wrecks too, because it's like,
Really?
like a couple big trucks are turned over, and it's like, what do? You've got to call like a crane in. It's like they don't make
Big
trucks
wreckers.
big enough, to like
Yeah.
it's like big equipment to come turn those things over. So that's always fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So you like when they crash?
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
messed
just
up.
don't want to be involved, but I want to be like watching it on TV, and I don't want anyone to die. I just want the trucks to like be destroyed.
I have Matchbox cars we can just play with if you want to do that.
Yeah,
Did that?
no, but we'd have to like slow the camera down to get the real effect of like
okay.
the weight and everything as it like crashes in. I really do watch like YouTube crashes. at
I do
night.
too,
Like it's like so entertaining for some reason.
It's terrible. Road rage,
Yeah, road
car
rage.
accidents.
Like
messed up.
trucking fails
Yeah.
when they like overload trucks and they tip over or stuff like that.
Yeah. You're so messed up.
I know I am. Next,
Okay. What is next? Oh, we got nationwide news. This is pretty vague. I don't have a ton of information on this, but hello, gas pumps, bend over. This is data from yesterday, but it says the nation's top 10 weekly increases in price for in which states. Guess who's number one?
who?
Utah.
Utah has the most increase.
The biggest increase in 1 week. 51 cents.
Wow.
48 cents in Arizona. California was 40 cents. And obviously, it has to do with increase just that 1 week. So it doesn't have to do with the overall price. But, yeah, Utah 1, Arizona 2, California 3, Idaho 4, Nevada 5, which I was like, what? This is all
the
West
West.
Coast. Georgia was on there, and Alaska and Florida. But those were the only kind of far away from like the central western U.S. I thought that was interesting.
Why did they say that was?
I didn't read the article.
Oh.
What are you thinking? But I wanted to get your guys' take on all this gas. And in the nationwide top 10 most expensive markets, Utah's not even on there. So we just had a high increase really fast.
It's around what, like 430 here?
I think nationwide average is $4.33. I've been paying $4.29, but that was at a Chevron. I think Costco usually does a little bit better than that.
But before
Costco's
it went crazy that 1 week, I feel like gas station prices could vary from 20 cents. That's just a couple streets away, but everybody went to $4.29.
Isn't that weird?
Just everybody.
You noticed
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah, everybody.
Did you notice it down where that
I never
mysterious
pay
place-
attention to how much gas is
Oh my gosh.
because
You're so independently wealthy.
my
He has a Tesla.
yeah, that's why. No, my truck tank is so big it won't fill up. So I just know it's $100.
Oh,
when I go to the gas, I'm like, here's $100. I don't know
I
how
see.
much gas I'm getting. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna pay because it stops when it hits 100 for some reason. I don't know.
Some gas stations do that.
Yeah.
Some stop at 75. I
Mhm.
noticed. But what Nate was pointing out is I noticed it too. Is like gas prices were kind of all over, just like they usually are.
Yeah.
You can go to certain places and get a little bit better of a deal, and then it was all of a sudden the announcement on Russia. A few gas stations went up pretty high in price, but some were still a little low. And this may have only been like an afternoon that I noticed this, but then the next morning I woke up and everything $4.29.
Right. I think
I
it
was like-
happened within a few hours because my wife took the truck to work,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I got to fill up the truck. I'll do it when she gets home, and everything was like the store were $4. But by the time she got home, every gas station $4.29, $4.29. I'm like, somebody's got to be at least still at $4.05 or something. But
Huh.
Here's the thing that blows my mind is that how and why could everyone be on the same price? That's what blew me away, because usually you can drive around town and see a fluctuation of at least 5 or 10 cents.
Probably, like you said, the owners anticipating, so they're trying to almost capitalize on, I don't know.
Maybe there's a cap on profits. Like maybe some people do their gas lower and some people do like the max that they can, but they can't like charge $8 a gallon. I don't know. I don't know how gas works.
I don't think there's a cap on it. You just always are competing with the guy across the street, right?
Yeah.
So, because if the guy bought, like you bought yours at $3 a gallon the day before, and he gets it at $2.50, lowers his price, you have to lower it down to be competitive. So you're taking a loss for that week, and so you try to make it up in situations like this when you can. And they don't make a whole lot of money off of gas stations. It's their convenience stores that
gas brings people in,
so
that you can get a chocolate donut and a Coke.
Yeah.
Right. And because I always liken the business model to the same as movie theaters. They didn't make a ton of money off the tickets, but when you buy a $7 bucket of popcorn, that's where they make their money.
Right.
So, but I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time believing that when you do drive around and you're like, why is this gas price 30 or 40 cents? Like in Sugar House, there's a Chevron on 2100 South and I don't know, Highland Drive, I think it is. Always 10, 15 cents more expensive than anywhere else I can find anywhere. And then you go to Costco or the Walmart ones, and they're dirt cheap compared to that.
Well, Maverick's usually cheaper because it's like half corn or whatever.
Chunks of corn?
Yeah.
It's watered down.
Exactly. No, it really is, though. Like
ethanol, I know.
It's ethanol, but I don't know if you ever notice, if you fill up and get that ethanol stuff, that your gas mileage drops a ton.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's why I go out of my way to get leaded
Fuel?
Wherever I can.
Like in old farms that still have fuel in their tank.
From the 70s. Yeah.
It's pretty much water by now, but
I get it from the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is a crazy thing, and man, we're allocating so much money towards gas these days. It's just to get around. I mean, we have a van and a truck and then a car. We're driving the car a lot more, to kind of combat this thing. But have you guys changed anything or any habits to handle this?
I have people drive me everywhere now.
Yeah. I just am more conscious about it. My wife says, let's go drive here. And I'm like, not today.
You're going to have to take the Tesla.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a big change, but it's not like life-changing. But it's like, because it's like you used to spend $60 to fill up. Now it's $80.
Here you go with your white privilege again.
But you still do think like I do. I'm like, oh, let's not drive somewhere because gas is up. Like,
let's walk.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw a study that said like the average, if the prices stay the same for the next year, the average person will spend about an extra $1,000 over the next year in gas. So it's not like end of the world. Like people are going out and buying these expensive Teslas and stuff to save on gas. You're like, what? You're spending another 30 grand or whatever more than you would in another car to save $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's not that much for some people. I guess it probably like can really suck. Like, if you're on a real tight budget now suddenly.
Yeah, so it does make you think, like, do I really need to go to the store right now or should I wait?
Yeah. And that hopefully brings the cost down, right? Because if people are buying less gas, they've got to lower the price to sell it, in theory.
Surplus,
supply and demand on it. There's also some states, I think Georgia is one of them, and I know Utah's talking about it, of suspending the gas tax for a period.
Utah said they won't do it.
They came out and said no.
Yep.
And I know a couple states actually have gone forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that meant 25 to 30 cents a gallon would have been cut from Utah, but I'm sure every state's different.
Yeah.
They tax it totally different, but I think it's kind of a joke. That money goes to certain things that what are those things going to do now, And
it's more expensive than it's ever been, right?
Yeah.
But you think about it, was it 10, 12 years ago when it was really high again? And I mean, the value of money is different, the inflation, not to get too much in the weeds with it, but it still hurts.
Well, somebody brought up a point too. It's actually still cheaper per mile than it was for people who grew up in the 80s and 90s when your car got 14 miles to the
Yeah.
gallon.
That's true.
So, is it cheaper or more expensive? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, when we just get used to something super cheap,
Yeah.
like, and then when it costs a little more, we're like, oh, like
Yeah.
I'm complaining about bacon or whatever. And
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
some countries,
Let's
like,
talk about that, guys.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's talk about the things that matter.
exactly.
You need to fill up on bacon, and you can't.
But I guess the worry too is like, where's it going to go from here? Is it going to keep going crazy, or maybe it's just a big scare? Maybe it's going to be
No.
kind of high. I mean, it was this high, not actually this high, but it was around this in like 2008, 2009.
Pretty close.
And it sucked, but we didn't collapse over it or anything. But if it goes up to like something crazy, like $7 or $8 a gallon, like some places in California are having, then that would be
Yeah.
Crazy.
One place like $8 or something.
Right.
yeah.
So-
That could literally mean that I would have to fill up probably 3 times. Like I'd have to swipe my card 3
Oh.
times at the pump just
Because
to
you cap
fill
out
my
at
tank up.
$100?
Right.
That's so weird.
So, and that gets me to like 3/4 of a tank. So.
Right. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I think they're calling this the car owner virus
Oh yeah, car owner.
pandemic.
Is
Oh.
that does that deserve some money?
No,
I
that's
didn't say
good.
it.
It passes. That's funny. Oh, the dad jokes. Pass. You get a pass for that. All right, yeah. This is the other thing too, because this kind of bleeds into the nationwide or the worldwide news too. Is that it with the gas prices and stuff that's going on? Who's to blame? Like, is there someone to actually blame, or is it a condition of what's
Brandon.
going on? Brandon, what? What is your job?
It's your fault, Brandon.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
Oh, that's I see. Here we go with the dad jokes again. No, that's true.
It's okay. My son says he hates my stupid jokes, so
Yeah.
we're good.
I'm on the same page.
Dad,
man.
just be quiet.
Shh, my friends are here. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people. It's Putin. It's Biden. It's this. It's that.
I mean,
I don't know.
Gas was going up already.
Yeah.
Like that was very clear. It's gone up a little more now. I don't know why, other than like I guess markets fluctuate as things happen. So they're like Russia might invade, so gas is going up. It's
Right.
like okay,
It's
Yeah.
convenient, maybe.
yeah, but I can't imagine we're seeing actual like supply line effects of like any like not buying oil from Russia or any of that yet. I don't know. I don't know how quickly we get oil out of the ground and all the way over here into our
Because we get
Gas
less
station.
than 30%, I think, from Russia. Most of it comes from.
I heard it's way less than that, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
Even less. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
Is it 3?
8%.
Oh, yeah. I
But
think that's right. It's
I
way
think,
less.
but I think the UK they're more up into the double-digit
Like Germany.
percentages. Yeah.
Germany's like 60%, I think.
Ugh.
So it would wipe them out to stop. And I think they recently said we're going to keep buying oil from Russia. Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think Elon needs to drop electric vehicles from his spaceships into Germany and like the Eastern European countries.
There you go.
That would be.
Come on, Elon.
Jeez,
Just-
Elon.
Do your job.
Yeah. Just get donating.
So I did have a friend say that he invests in oil companies
Uh-huh.
and their profit margins went spiking high. So I think
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of greed that's involved in it right now more than the lack of supply.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, there's a war, so gas is
there's
more
an excuse.
now.
We can
Like-
raise it up because
Yeah.
everyone just go along with it. We're just like, okay, it
Here's
is
the
what it is.
reason.
And it literally, because it's like you've already pumped the oil, it's already been shipped across the ocean, and it's on the truck to be delivered, pretty much. And they're like, oh, that truck costs more now, by the way, when it shows up. That's, I don't know how it works, but that's what I'm assuming as far as like how quickly it went up. Like it would have to be something like that.
Yeah, if
Right.
you look like I think it's Exxon, are they the chart? It just spikes
Yeah.
straight up for their
Yeah.
profit.
Yep. Let's make some money.
Well,
Wouldn't that be great to be like, I want to make more money today. I want like $1 billion more dollars today.
Phil's going to be filling his truck today.
Yeah.
So, raise the
Exactly.
price.
Well, it's a similar thing of the diamonds, you know, the De Beers, and they can control the market by how much they put out there, and they can control the prices of diamonds. And I'm sure it's the same thing with the oil. That's actually what Mike, our friend Mike, kind of explained this to me over a text, and it made sense because I was like, how is 8% or such a small percentage from Russia creating such a massive increase in the cost? And then he explained, he's like, well, oil is a commodity and it's traded on a global price. So it's not just American dollars. It's if you have a tanker full of oil and the price of oil spikes up, that tanker, even though you pumped it out of the ground with a certain expectation of money and how much it costs you to get out, it just has a higher value.
So it's like gold.
It's like if you had a suitcase full of gold, which I know you do, then it doesn't matter what you bought that thing at. If it spikes up in price, it's just worth more.
Right.
Right. And then if you sold it, it's just worth more.
And that makes sense because they're like, oil, the future of oil is uncertain now because there's this war going on. So maybe that's, could cause it to go up.
Yeah. Same thing as if a mine just all of a sudden found 47 trillion pounds of gold.
Yeah.
Like the price would probably go down.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. You get the idea.
I get it.
I
understand.
I'm no economicologist. That's a made-up word.
That's what they say in school now.
Colleges.
What's next?
I think that's it for the news.
Oh.
Do you have any news you want to share?
No, there was something fun about, one thing we failed to mention.
What?
Is that Elon Musk has challenged Vladimir Putin to single combat, quote unquote.
Wait, say that again?
Single combat.
You didn't hear about this?
And
he doubled down too.
And to the victor goes Ukraine.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I wish you would have clarified and said Mortal Kombat because that would have been the best.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's been an official response from Putin.
What? That's so weird.
Yeah.
You think he'd be right on that?
But I think his their space agency guy, the one that's saying they're going to leave all the space people in space. The Americans.
Go on. Place to put them.
The guy that's saying we're going to leave the Americans on the space station when we come home or whatever.
They're talking about detaching the U.S. portion of it or something.
I think that guy responded to it, but
I think it'd be awesome. It'd be like Predator versus Schwarzenegger.
It'd be like Hunger Games, like the whole world's watching this gladiator. They could go to the original Coliseum and just settle it the old-fashioned way. Wouldn't that be great?
That's
Putin with his shirt off.
Yeah. On
Comes
a horse.
Riding a bear. A horse. And then Elon pulls up in his Tesla. Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I would feel good about that. If Putin went in there and killed Elon, I'd be like, I guess you deserve Ukraine now because
you why?
You put your life on the line. And
you know why you feel good about that?
Why?
Because Elon is a leader.
Oh.
So let's do the same story. Biden versus Putin.
Oh,
How good do you feel about that?
I don't feel as good for some reason. I think because he's too old. It's just elder abuse.
But Biden knows the Clintons, so
that's true.
There you
He'd
go.
have the best corner in the match.
They just shoot an arrow out of the audience
from the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suicide.
Got him.
Schwarzenegger did put out a video yesterday to Russians.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
So it's too bad he's not the one that challenged Putin to combat.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But Elon's connected to Joe Rogan, so they got the
there you
UFC
go.
on their
He
side.
could get all the fighting training he
You
wanted.
could get McGregor
Yeah.
out there with Putin.
That's true. It would have to be no weapons. Just
I love it.
yeah.
He would cheat anyways, though, right?
Yeah, he'd come out with
No way.
anthrax all over his hands or something.
Ivan Drago would come walking out to fight for him.
Yeah.
That's funny. Is he the guy from Rocky?
Yeah.
Okay. I get the joke now. I was like, that'd be funny if he's talking about the guy from Rocky. Oh, he is. Good.
It is.
Well,
Anyway, so yeah.
I hope there is a battle to the death one-on-one because at least that's set up and agreed upon.
Yeah.
I don't think that this war in Ukraine was agreed on at all.
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure we could talk a whole episode on that again.
There you go.
On to our main topic, which is this is a place podcast. Brandon, Nate. If I'm gonna try and summarize it, and then you correct me. But you guys take sections and places in Utah and you kind of deep dive into those sections, kind of go over the history of it. You go over different things that have occurred there and kind of just tell the story of different places. Does that seem within Utah, obviously?
Saying a deep dive is very generous.
Deep
Because
dive into the kiddie pool.
yeah.
It's whatever Wikipedia has for the first paragraph. That's about it.
That's how we do news here. So, yeah, I understand.
I think that's how it started. I do a lot of research, like an hour of research. Oh, I got to find out all about this. And we plan a whole outline, and now it's just, let's talk about this.
Yeah, a little bit.
And during the podcast, then we'll pull up the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
It's a little more loose form now.
Yeah, some things are more. We put more effort into the research for it, but it's kind of become, we have this topic to have an episode, right?
Yeah,
right.
Usually a place, an excuse to go visit something or go somewhere that you've always seen, but you never make time to go do it. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's what we do.
Yeah,
I'm sure
when you grow up and live somewhere, it's easy to not do things.
Yeah.
Like I was born and raised here, and I've never been skiing.
That's
So,
kind of,
yeah,
Yeah, you're kind of messed up.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Do people always come to you with ideas? Oh, you should do an episode about this or that, or
We do.
Little
It seems
bit.
like we get a whole bunch, and then it dies down, and then get a whole bunch of ideas. So
Yeah.
We get a whole bunch when we have a bunch planned.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we forget about the ones people suggested, so we're kind of bad at that. But
need a notebook. I'll hook you up, bro.
yeah.
So,
piece of paper and a pen.
so what's your favorite place to go in Utah
Favorite place to go, or
Yeah.
favorite place that we've visited
that you've
so far?
been? Like, yeah,
So I didn't know, it's one of our earlier episodes, International Peace Gardens. Have you guys been there?
Oh,
Oh,
never
I
even
didn't
heard
know
of it.
that existed. There's the Gilgal Gardens. Didn't really know that existed. So there's little things that were like, wow, this has been here since I was a kid. I had no idea they even existed.
Is the Peace Gardens the one that has like the 9/11 thing at it?
It's in West Valley, right?
No, it's like a Rose Park area.
Oh.
Yeah, Glendale, Rose Park.
So it's kind of
Oh.
like just different countries. You go and visit different countries' locations throughout this park. It's free.
Huh.
It's really unassuming, just randomly in the middle of the city
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
park.
And it's like, and there's a skate park in front of it. So it's
That's funny.
Then you have like the Gilgal Gardens. Have you guys been there over by Trolley Square? That's
The Joseph
Oh,
Smith Sphinx.
yeah.
Joseph Smith Sphinx.
You
Type
guys did an episode on that one?
We did one on that one. So
Have
it's
you
kind
not
of
heard
cool.
of this one, Phil?
I've heard of the Joseph Smith Sphinx.
Yeah. There's a park that was owned by, I'll summarize this whole really shortly, to somewhat of a crazy guy, but he was an amazing artist, I think. And he did all kinds of rock work. He has like his own self-portrait kind of work where he built himself with a theater and all the tools and stuff. And he's built some really cool stuff. And
Yeah.
you can just walk in there. I think it's owned by the city now, or who owns that? I guess
think,
it's,
yeah, I think so.
it's an actual park now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, anybody can go. I mean, they lock the gate at night, I believe, but
Right.
Yeah.
you can just. So it's kind of fun when someone comes from. I mean, if you had somebody outside of Utah come to visit and they say, "Well, what do we go do?" That's different. And
Yeah.
It's kind of fun now. To be like, oh, let's go check out the Peace Gardens, the Gilgal Gardens. That's just different that you wouldn't
It's
find
weird.
anywhere else. So
It's weird and cool, and yeah, it's really unassuming too. It's between two houses. You walk between
Yeah.
these two houses, literally, and you go to like their backyard or what used to be their backyard, and there it is.
Huh.
We'll go sometime.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Do you guys have guests on at times to go over certain areas and locations?
Yeah, we've done some where we have a guest just to talk about a place they like. We had an author on, and he's from Heber, so he just talked about Heber City.
That's cool.
We've done businesses where we talk to the owners. So we kind of do a little bit of everything in that regard, but I guess the whole premise is it has to be something to do with a place.
yeah, it's
Hence the name.
Yeah, if we have a place and it's like you said, there's somebody who knows a lot about it. We try to have him on, or someone who works at the place. Try to have him on. So we did.
That's cool.
We did the Forgotten Carols, and Michael McLean didn't get back to us, and so he lost that on that opportunity.
One of our most
So-
popular episodes, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. So much free advertising you could have had.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We had like 23 downloads. Or what is that? Mayhem? Tens and tens of views.
Tens and
This
tens.
is going to get tens and tens of views.
That's funny. Well, if you guys ever need some advice on, Utah County areas, just let us know. I'm sure we could come up with some weird ideas.
Oh yeah, we could show you where a house is, where a field used to be. And
That was a place.
all kinds of stuff, all kinds
I
of
think there's
places.
a high school there
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, and a high school.
Well, you could do Geneva Steel.
Oh yeah, Geneva Steel is
If you
pretty
need
wild.
a special guest on people that trespassed, get Geneva Steel after they closed down and snuck around at night.
That's true.
we could be
and now
guests
it's
on that.
gone.
You might know somebody.
Yeah, we we might be able to get you to their agent.
Now it's gone. Now it's just like people's houses where they live and play on top of yellow cake.
Mm-hmm. Did I tell you that I went down to Vineyard, which is the city that Geneva Steel, for anyone that doesn't know, is a huge, what would you call it, metal fabrication place
Yeah.
that they would take raw materials and turn them into steel, coils, and they made all kinds
And
of
it was
products.
continuous smoke coming out of the stacks, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a continuous flow. It was like a conveyor belt, basically. It wasn't literally a conveyor belt, but the product was consistently being manufactured. So I'm pretty sure they had 24-hour shifts and stuff. Anyways, it was a big operation in Utah County. And I went down there for some reason. I can't remember why, but I was talking to someone that lived in a brand new house that was built right where the Geneva Steel was. And he's landscaping his backyard, and he has a backhoe, and he's digging it out. He pulled this huge piece of slag. Like, I'm talking the size of, I don't know, what's this big, guys?
3 feet?
Yeah, about 3 feet in diameter. Giant piece of slag, and he just set it up, and it was like the craziest weird thing. And he realized, he's like, I realized that this was like the dumping grounds of this place. Like, this was the wasteland. They put all the crap here.
Yeah.
And that's my front yard now. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to grow a vegetable garden. But that's the transformation in that, of that place. Is I knew people that were employed there. They worked there. They got laid off when they shut it down. We watched them tear down the equipment and send it to China. And
Yeah, it happened
crazy.
while I was on my mission.
Oh, really?
It was all there, and I came home, and it was gone. I was blown away. Like, because it was like a small city of a factory. It was
Wow.
huge.
Well, it is a city, Vineyard.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is now. But
I think, I think they're also given credit for destroying Utah Lake too.
yeah.
Not
Probably.
sure about that.
What do you guys do outside of your podcast? You work, I assume. Not making enough
Not
money
him.
from your podcast. You don't work.
I'm a real estate broker.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
So you've been plenty busy lately.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He plays pickleball.
I play pickleball full time and then real estate on the side.
There you go. That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm in banking, so
Are you? Oh, good. As a broker, are you an attorney also?
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of like poor man attorney.
But in Utah, it's not required, I guess, to have a
No.
law degree to
Is
be
it
a
required?
broker.
No, if you have a law degree, you don't have to take the real estate school.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I only know this because in Boston, I worked for a broker who started his own company training brokers, and we made all these videos of like how all that works and stuff. And I think in some states you had to be an attorney or you could test out or something. I can't remember. That's why I asked that.
Yeah, they don't have to go through the schooling. They can just take the exam and pass it.
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting.
good for them.
But yeah, real estate's been going crazy right now.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think a lot of realtors are not liking it because you have a buyer. What are you going to sell them, right?
Yeah.
So
That's true. It had
So
its
there's-
during the uptick. There's probably craziness while there
there's
was still
something
inventory.
Like, along the Wasatch Front, there's like 8,000 real estate agents, and any given day right now, there's maybe 400 homes for sale.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Wow.
On the Wasatch
On the
Front.
Wasatch Front, yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
so you'll see a lot of realtors working other jobs pretty soon here.
So you're looking at the MLS fairly.
Yeah, so my company kind of focuses on property management, which has been
Oh,
great
okay.
during this whole crazy couple years. I won't say the word, but so yeah, we're pretty blessed. Our company is, so I'm one of the fortunate ones who gets to do it for a living right now.
That's
So,
cool. That blows my mind. Is there anything that sits on the market for a long time? Anyway,
Yeah, it's crazy. So a seller's market is anything under 3 months. Like you sell under 3 months, that's a seller's market. So now if it doesn't sell under 3 days, you're like, what's wrong? Why is my house not selling? You're like, come on.
Wow.
That's what I hear, and I hear people are like, you have to like overbid on stuff to even have a chance.
Oh yeah,
Like,
like the listing price is now just a suggested starting point, right? It's not.
And it's like 20% above that people are offering.
50, yeah, it's crazy. It's nutty. So if in the past somebody calls and says, like Brandon, for example, bought a house 2 years ago,
In 2019, yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll definitely help you. Now somebody calls and says, hey, can you help me buy a house? You're like, oh crap. You're like, it's gonna be, how much gas money am I going to spend? And helping them look at, you got to put in 30 offers to hopefully even get one person to bite most of the time. So
man,
see,
it's nutty.
We're both in construction, and so it's like we see that end of things, and it is. We do remodels, my company mostly, and
cool.
So new construction. I hear stories from generals that are doing new construction and developing neighborhoods and stuff that, no joke, by the time they pour a foundation and start framing, is about the time the place sells.
Or before that right now.
Yeah, I mean, people pre-purchase the lots, depending on the business it's set up. But what I'm saying is if we just went out and bought a lot and started building a house and didn't promote anything.
Right.
If someone just saw, I mean, the other joke is my excavator, he said, oh, no, it's when I pull up and I put the excavator on the lot, people are starting to ask questions.
Like, what's going on here?
How much do you want? When are you going to be done? And it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure the phone calls that I'm getting are just insane from all over the United States too. People moving here.
Oh yeah, they're coming in droves. And then there's, I think, 1 in 7 homes right now in the United States is owned by Wall Street, one form or another.
I was just going to ask you that if a lot of these homes that you see when they do get bought, are they being bought by companies?
Yeah, there's a lot of hedge funds. Our company has a few. So our company, we're national. We have about 25 offices spread throughout the United States, and our headquarters are here. But there's a few hedge funds just out, not here in Utah, but outside of our Utah, are buying 30, 40 properties a month.
And they're just homes.
Yeah, they're buying homes, single-family homes, and renting them out and playing that game.
I mean, you sold one on my street that was like that, right?
And then, yeah, I sold one. So I had a buyer buy one of my listings that was just a hedge fund that bought it, and they went in and put, 30, 40 grand in, probably fixing it up.
And that's just rental property?
So, and they'll pay like full market value. So poor buyers are competing with deep pockets.
Yeah.
I heard on the radio that Wasatch Front has grown by 500,000 people in the last year, which is like 19%.
And it's
increase.
Just going to continue to grow. I mean, there's the Ivory Home guy developer, the research guy for Ivory Homes, said like 2 years ago that maybe 30 years from now, I-15 will be a double-decker freeway or highway. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Highway? Is that a highway?
Yeah.
And they'll still be bumper to bumper.
I think you guys just mentioned that on your podcast, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
So,
that would be fun. We could have, right? Would it be fun?
No, I don't.
Oh, it wouldn't be fun.
I don't want to
Sorry.
live here anymore now.
I'm not joking. I'd love to live an hour or two south of here. Just get away from the Wasatch Front or the traditional, what is the Wasatch Front, you know?
Yeah.
It's gotten so crazy.
Yeah, I got some friends that are moving. Well, he just retired, but they're moving down to Manti. And I was like, that sounds like
too
I
bad.
could do that.
But that could be going through the same thing, 10 years from now.
Yeah, it could be. That's what's crazy. Maybe it just...
Yeah, is there really a small town in Utah anymore, right? If there is one, it's growing.
Well, even the small town properties, I feel like, are crazy.
Yeah. Like even 10 years ago, you buy a cabin for pretty cheap, and those are going crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's just crazy.
Yeah.
There's a place we've been looking at, small towns, and I think at first it was, 100,000. You could get a place with a decent piece of property and everything. Now you look down, it's like nothing less than 3.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. It could just be an empty lot.
Yeah, it's
300.
I don't get it. But the interest rates, didn't the Feds raise, or they're raising them next week?
They just raised it 2 days
So I
ago.
wonder if that will, because it's going to put a lot of, especially first-time home buyers out of the market. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that will slow things down, but who knows?
If they're not already out of the market.
If they're not already,
Seems
right?
like
No
they are.
kidding. It's wow. I feel bad for the young kids.
I mean, I just talked to a lady who wants to remodel her house. She sold a house she bought 10 years ago in Sugar House, and then, which is insane. I'm sure she made an insane amount of money. She's got this $1.2 million house somewhere else, and she wants to remodel it because she made so much money off of that other place. I'm sure she didn't pay cash for that whole house, but enough for a down payment and to do a huge addition and put a garage on the property and stuff. Is like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just never thought that in Utah, right?
Right.
The house is worth $1 million right now. You look at them and you're like, no, that's not. It's not worth $1 million.
Yeah, that's funny. People say he lives in $1 million home, and it's like that doesn't mean anything anymore. That's like a normal average home.
3
now,
bed,
right?
2 bath.
Yeah.
1,800 square feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when my wife and I left Utah in 2008, and we were renting it was a 3-bedroom home with an unfinished basement for $500 a month.
Wow.
We moved to Boston, came back in 2013, so like 5 years later, and you could not find anything comparable for under like $1,400 and now it's like 2,000 plus.
Yeah, remember like when basements were like you could rent a basement apartment for $500 and
Oh,
now
yeah.
those are going for $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Crazy. It's crazy.
What was rent in Boston when you were there, though?
It was higher for sure. Like
Yeah.
we spent $1,200 a month for a studio apartment,
Wow.
which was and now I think they're up to like $1,700 for that. But it was like I think 400 square feet. So just one room
gosh.
with like a little side kitchenette and a bathroom.
Yeah.
And that was $1,200, and that wasn't like in the heart of town either. That was out quite a ways. So.
Wow.
Jeez.
I know me and my wife finally moved out of our apartment because we're like, we're not spending $780 a month on this thing.
Yeah.
And it was downtown Salt Lake, like right by the
Wow.
temple.
Right.
And I'm sure now they're close to $2,000
Yeah,
for that.
it's crazy.
Or more, right? Who knows?
It's been crazy.
I feel like we're all sitting on a porch with a rocking chair. Like,
Yeah, with our
you
lemonade.
remember when
back in my
The
day,
good old days.
get out my property. Anyway, remember
when I could buy a gallon of gas for $1.50.
hamburgers were a nickel. That's my grandpa used to always say. I used to get a
Nickel?
hamburger for a nickel.
Yeah.
$1 would be nice.
I know. I went to McDonald's the other day, $1.39. I was like, what happened to the dollar menu?
No.
Is that everywhere or is that just certain locations?
They're on now what they call
Value menus.
Yeah, there's no such thing anymore. The dollar is no longer worth a small bucket of fries.
To be fair, I never could financially figure out how they could factually construct something like that for $1.
Yeah.
I'm like, the guy handing me the burger is probably worth, that action was worth $1.
Yeah.
Just paying that guy to be there and paying insurance for him and his
The bill.
payroll and all that stuff. Yeah. I'm like, that's not even mentioning all the fake meat you have that you have to. Anyways.
What really did it for me was when the $5 hot and ready went up.
Oh, what?
What's that on?
The
Yeah,
Little
the
Caesars?
Little Caesars.
It's not $5
It's-
anymore.
How much is
Oh.
it?
$5.55.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, at least they kept the
And you
kind of
can't.
catchy.
Do you notice you can't even order it on the app anymore?
Really?
You have to do the extra most bestest or whatever. You can't do the regular $5 pizza.
I
or
didn't notice that.
$5.55. Jeez.
And
Come
I
on.
also-
They don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
They also put a triangle with an eyeball in it on his hat. No, I'm just saying it's connected to the Illuminati. Probably not. Anyway.
But you said you were in banking. Is that right?
Yeah.
What kind of banking do you do?
So I am in, I guess, commercial. We're an industrial bank. And so basically take the money that people put in and then go invest it in real estate type stuff.
Oh, okay.
We get involved in these deals, and I just kind of handle all the back end stuff.
So what kind of people are putting money in?
Very,
Is it-
very rich people.
Yeah, it's like a hedge fund kind of, or
For us, it'll be like a life insurance company will come to us and say, we've got this very rich person wants to buy this multifamily complex or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They want to develop this like Amazon warehouse. They're putting money into that. And so we'll participate in that loan, do like half or 30% or something. And we'll go in and just front the money, do servicing for it.
huh?
So
That's cool. And what do you do as part of that? Like, are you?
He makes the rich richer.
Yeah.
I just basically just read through documents, make sure everything lines up, everything is in order, and
You're
we're-
like
we're
helping to
protected.
approve loans.
So it's almost like
type of
underwriting,
thing.
right?
My portion is not underwriting. Like I'll take after the underwriters have gone through and done their portion, I'll come in and kind of put it all together, make it look nice, make sure that we have every decimal in the right spot, that kind of
okay.
stuff. And then I also handle the fundings, like when we need to send the $12 million over, I handle doing that or whatever it may be.
That's fun.
Yeah, it does sound fun to click a button that says $12 million.
Do you get kind of flat on like money when you're dealing with? I mean, I'm sure it's mostly electronic, right? You're
Right.
not dealing with suitcases and duffel bags, but when you're
Meeting under
even
the bridge.
does it kind of numb you to the feeling of money sometimes of like what it is? I mean,
Well, yeah, before that I worked at a branch, a bank. And so, I first saw like $1,000. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. And then, you're taking $300,000 out of the vault. It's like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But even
Becomes a
like-
product at that point, right?
yeah, it's monopoly money to you. And then when I came here, I'm looking at $12 million. That's a pretty big loan, but I'm sending $5 million. I'm like, oh, this is just a baby loan. It kind of just becomes numb, like
which is so
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of become numb to that as far as I don't know, it just seems I've never really had to deal with that. In fact, I try not to deal with money that much as far as bills and with the company
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, I don't even want to figure it out. Just someone else figure that out.
Yeah.
I
like
felt a lot
money.
better if some
I
of it
like
was
it. I have a jar in my fridge that I put money in,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
I want to get one of the big glass ones, the big glass jugs, the 5-gallon jugs.
Yeah.
My parents had one of those in the 80s. My dad would put his change in it, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. I like money like that.
When you were a kid, like if you wanted to buy something, did you go like scavenge through the couch cushions looking for loose change or anything like that? Or
No.
Or on top
But
of my
you can't do that
parents'
anymore.
dresser.
Nobody carries change anymore, right? So you don't
Yeah.
find loose change anymore like you
Yeah.
used to.
I raided my daughter's piggy bank for some change in case I said the
Oh.
bad
Oh,
words.
there you go.
Well,
So,
you better take
shoot.
some of this money back to her. Take those lottery tickets.
Yeah,
See how she does.
Put those in there. She'll know what to do with them.
exactly.
That's funny because like I never, when it came to with money, I don't know. Until I was like in my teens, did I really care about money? Like before that, it was like, I mean, if I had some pennies, we'd walk to the gas station and get some penny candies or something like that. Back when that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But money was not. I don't know. I don't think I cared about money until I was in like junior high, probably. And they had vending machines.
Do you guys has anything trickled into your like conversations? I think China and Russia are talking about like changing the currency or whatever to the yen or whatever. Like that's going to be the international thing that they're pretty much going to quit using the dollar. Like does that matter? Does it what could that do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about moving the U.S. dollar as the primary exchange in China or in some country for oil.
Yeah, as I understood it, and I don't know, I'm just a construction worker. But, China, so the world currency is the U.S. dollar.
Right.
Everybody used that as the default. That's how they exchange money and all that stuff. But China and Russia are pretty much going to say, no, it's not. It's the yen now. I don't know.
I haven't heard that. So
And I think one of the big concerning things, so we throw all these sanctions on Russia, for example, with the wire system, so they can't use the, what is it called? The SWIFT
SWIFT, yeah.
system. But them, because that everybody uses that, the whole world, and that if they go away from that is what they're trying to do between China and Russia, so they have their own system. I think that could cause some problems.
Yeah.
But
Huh. Yeah, I was just curious about that. If like anybody was in the financial realm was like worried, or if it doesn't matter, because I don't know.
if you want to get into conspiracy theories with
Yes.
the dollar and the Rothschild family, that'll take you down a rabbit hole.
I've heard that name a lot before, but
It's like one of the
Rothschilds.
world bankers, basically.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them. Not many.
and they control everything, and they wear goat heads,
Yep.
and yeah,
yeah. And
I get it.
yeah.
So they're not going to let that happen. So if that eases your mind,
They'll
At all.
they'll take out whoever they need to.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, they're playing a different game than everyone is. We're just trying to survive and get along, and they're playing games of transferring craziness around.
Moving
So,
countries around, and
Yeah.
We're just trying to make some podcast money, just a little bit.
Just
exactly.
enough. We always say just enough to allow convince our wives to be able to keep doing it.
Yeah, or pay Trent back for the Gatorade that we drink.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Trent.
Thanks, Trent. Well, that's great. Did you guys have any messages you wanted to get out as information? Obviously, listen to the show. This is a place.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you have any ideas, we love the ideas or feedback on.
We'll try to do them.
Yeah, or if you know somebody that has a cool little kind of like the mama pop type shop that needs a little bit of love, let us know. We'll come talk to them.
So you are mostly doing like places in town, in the city, not so much like...
Yeah, well, we do.
We've done some. We did a couple in Ogden. We did a whole month of Ogden episodes.
Oh, that's a crazy place.
And if we get really daring, we go down to Utah County.
Yeah.
That's sketchy down there.
How many have we done down there? One? Two?
I
Not-
don't. It's just
not really,
I try
yeah.
to forget them.
We
Did
did a
you
BYU episode, so I guess that counts.
Did you get into the underground city in Ogden?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
but we
boy.
talked to about Ogden High School, how they have the tunnels.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Talked with what's his name.
John Smith.
Yeah.
In the downtown area, there's an underground city that obviously isn't happening anymore, but in the 20s and 30s, Al Capone actually came there and said, this is a scary place.
Oh yeah.
He's like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
And that's where they wear the goat heads underneath.
I
there.
think that's made up.
Oh.
I think they were actually...
Is it like the tunnels downtown?
No, it's like they literally set it up like a black market, but a physical market.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go to a bar, go in the back, they had a staircase, and then underneath the whole like strip of stores and stuff was another sidewalk, storefront, all this
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
So I know, like in Vegas, don't people live like underneath the streets in Vegas?
Oh yeah, they're
Heard
called
about that.
homeless.
Oh,
No, they do. I've seen videos of in Vegas of people living under bridges and stuff like that. Cause
no, I think they have like tunnels or something.
Oh, really?
underneath the city that people, yeah, probably not to the extent that you just talked about, but
It's the same up in Washington. I think there's in Seattle. They had an underground city too.
yeah.
yeah,
And on Futurama,
Yeah.
and that's based off real life.
It
the
mirrors real life.
documentary Futurama.
I was actually watching a YouTube clip came up the other day, and it was like everything that Futurama predicted
Right.
or whatever.
and
And it was actually
Simpsons.
quite a few, yeah, kind of like a Simpsons thing. And it was pretty funny how many things that,
Have come to true.
yeah,
It's probably true.
yeah,
I don't believe you, but it might be true.
yeah. I saw it on the internet, so
Well, never mind. I take that back. It must be true.
Everything's true on the internet.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
what I say.
Well, thank you guys for coming on, and you
Yeah.
guys are welcome back anytime. I always, we're just scratching the surface, but you can come on back and chat with us anytime you'd like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to have you guys on. Maybe do a whole American Fork episode because we've started doing cities now. So
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
you guys might be authorities or somewhat on that.
We're the American Fork pros. Is that?
Don't
Is that how
worry.
you
In
say it?
third grade, I took a history class that went over American Fork.
Yeah.
That was only like 30 years ago.
Well, I know a lot about it through my grandmother because her and all her like siblings and everybody grew up here when it was like 4 houses. So
yeah. Well, here's your expert right here.
there you go. I
Good
already
deal.
told you the whole story. There were 4 houses. Now they're 40,000.
Just
And then there used to be
yeah.
a field.
Yeah,
and
there
now
was a
there's
field.
house.
There is a house there now in that field, and there's a few more too.
yeah, just copy that little clip and we'll put it in our
Yeah,
episode.
there you go.
We're done.
Just throw it
And
on
the
there.
end. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully we solve America today?
Yeah, we fixed America's problems.
Oh, it's
No.
done?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, never
Oh.
mind. Well,
Shoot.
Yeah.
good night, good morning. Cookie crumble, goodbye.
Goodbye.